Wow, that's a big question to start with. There are so many. I think if we looked at our clients on our referral system, it asks people to give a reason why they need food bank support that week. The most common issue that people face is low income due to the levels of benefit. So if you're receiving universal credit at the moment as a single person, after your housing is paid, you'll have about £92 a week to live on. Now, for a lot of people, the £92 a week will have to include their utility bills, their phone, a percentage of council tax, all of their food, any travel. You cannot live on £92 a week. Nobody can. It's an impossible thing. So that's probably the key reason. If we could change one thing, it would be to increase universal credit, say £125 a week, and then get that linked in to the cost of living increase every year. And that would give people a chance. So that's one of the issues. We do see a lot of people with physical health problems, mental health problems, and debt as well. But the biggest thing, the biggest single thing, is when someone is unable to work and they've got to live on universal credit, it's just not manageable. Five choice. We give everything we do is tinned, dried, long life.
Yeah.
But then we do buy every week fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. The things that probably we run out of most, tins of meat is getting really expensive. If you buy like some chicken in white sauce or some meatballs in red sauce or something, a lot of those things are going up to £2, £3 a tin, and it's getting really expensive. So that's a big thing that we do a lot of. I think tinned meat, tinned fruit, tinned veg are probably three things. The other thing that we always run out of and people really like are microwavable sponge puddings.
Really?
We never have any because if they've got their meat, their fruit, their veg, if they could have a dessert, sponge pudding, we hardly have any. Custard, tinned custard, we would always run out of that as well. There you go.
That's really important.
I think it's massive. I think if anyone who's in a situation of poverty, the first thing that they lose is choice. So if you can't afford to buy stuff, you have no choice. So a lot of clients that we get, they've got people helping them, they've got people doing stuff for them, doing stuff to them, but they don't get sometimes to be participants in their own lives. People are doing stuff for them. And while food bank is never going to be the same as going shopping, we wanted people to come in and feel that even if it was a really basic choice, they had some choice. So even if it's a choice between green milk and blue milk, or between chicken or beef, or between cornflakes or frosties, we just felt that people deserved that bit of choice because so much of their choices are taken away from them. They have to live in a house they're given, do a job that they have to do because they've got to get a job there, or that anything, they lose choice in so many ways, and we wanted that to happen. So it was on the dignity. Dignity is one of our core values, and we felt it really important. So we are referral only, which means you can't just walk in the front door. No one can just walk in. Not a walk-in service. You need a referral and a voucher. So generally, you would get a voucher from somewhere like Exeter City Council. You can get it from Citizens Advice. You can get the vouchers from a place called CoLab, which is about 30 agencies in Exeter who work in the same building. Most healthcare professionals, social services, and nearly every school. So literally the client will go in and talk to someone, or they'll phone up and say, I'm really struggling, can't afford food, got nothing. And the referrer should ask them a couple of questions and fill in a voucher. They'll be able to do it online. So they'll give the client a voucher number. When the client comes to us, they'll knock on the door, and if it's the first time they've ever been, and they'll look a bit lost and a bit anxious, and they'll say, got a number? someone's given me a number, I don't know what to do, and that's what it does. But on the referral, we should be able to pick up a little bit of information, like, does this client have a problem with debt? Because they might have asked them that question. Or is this because they can't afford to turn on the lights or turn on the heating or anything? So we'll pick up, the aim of referral is not, as some people think, it's to stop people coming in. The aim of referral is to just try to, right at the beginning, start thinking about what the issue is and how maybe we can help tackle that. So that's the aim. I think we talk about food poverty a lot. If we talked about poverty a lot and just include food in that, I think it's really sad sometimes. We have sessions here, and you might see 15 people come in, and a lot of them are single people. I think having a family will kind of protect you in this situation, whether you've got a mum or a dad or a gran or a partner or someone who you can share it with, and you probably earn a bit more money or whatever. But we see a lot of single people who come in, because being single, having to pay your rent, all your bills, everything, it's relentless. Paying for your life is a relentless thing. And if you're not on top of your game, or if you're ill, if you've got mental health problems, if you lose your job, it's hard. Food poverty is one thing. Other forms of poverty and social poverty are really difficult, because my observation, this is just my observation, a lot of people in food poverty, therefore in poverty, will lose confidence. They'll lose confidence, they'll lose their self-esteem quite quickly. They won't feel confident or able to afford to go out to join a group or go to the cinema or go and watch the football or go and meet a friend for dinner or go and meet a friend for coffee, and they will just stay at home. And that will be a slippery slope, because once that starts and you start losing your confidence, you can get very low and very isolated very quickly. So I think poverty is especially cruel because it reduces people's aspirations. Like, we have a lot of people who come to us, they will never hope to own a house or own a car or have a passport. They'll never think any of those things are achievable for them. That's for other people, not for them. They will just try and get by day to day. They won't think about where they're going to be in a week or have an aspiration like, I want to go on holiday to wherever, I want to do this for a career. They won't think that. They'll just think, how do I get through the week? Aspirations are gone, confidence is gone, self-esteem's gone, and that's the cruelty of it. It's for me, that's what I see. Okay, I think politically we need to increase the benefit system. The benefit system needs to work. It's too complicated and it's brutal. We have got an advisor here, a citizens advice advisor, who is a professional, and she understands how to navigate the benefit system. It takes a professional advisor to know the system. And if you know the system and can get help, you can probably get help, but it's so hard. And for most people, it's just really difficult. So politically, that needs to change. Socially, at a food bank, I look around and I see people who are incredibly isolated. And I think we, as a society, need to do much, much more, because so many people are left behind by our society. And there's two reasons for this. One is because, I don't want to sound preachy, traditional family is broken. That thing where you had your granny and your grandpa and your auntie and your uncle to help, and your mum and your dad, and you were in it together. So many people are so isolated and they don't have any of that. I think family's broken, and I think community is actually quite broken, in that we don't look out for one another as much as we should. We don't know our neighbours. Our neighbours wouldn't think to ask us for help. It's really broken. We're very individualistic. I actually have got my hope, take this, young people, my hope is that the young people are better at it than we've been, because I think we've been really isolated, looking after ourselves, our own aims and our own agendas. And I'm hopeful that the young people, this next generation, which you're in, are looking at that and thinking we could do so much better than that. Yeah. And I can't remember the other one. That was politically, that was socially, economically. Well, cost of living, cost of housing. The cost of housing is outrageous. We have 3,200 people, I understand. This is the numbers that I was given by one of the homeless projects locally. 3,200 households currently looking for housing in Exeter. We have 3,200 empty homes and second homes in Exeter. Now, that's really interesting. Economically, we really struggle from a situation where some people have got a lot, some people have nothing, and that needs to find some sort of equality. And much of that, I think, has got to be in the cost of housing, because that's always, cost of housing is nearly always one of the root causes why people end up here. So. I read a referral this week that said that this person has been sanctioned. I don't know if you know what that means. So you get your benefit money every week. If you don't do the things that you're supposed to do, you can be sanctioned, and then you get less of your benefit money until you do what you were told to do. So this person has been sanctioned, so he gets less money now for a period of maybe 3 months. And the reason he gets less was because he didn't update his online benefits journal. The reason he didn't do his online benefits journal was that he lost his phone and it all was online. Now, there's probably ways around that. He could have probably gone into the job centre and talked to them about it, but in that moment, he just like low self-esteem, panic, crisis mode, just didn't do it. And I think that is particularly hard, and we get a lot of older people who really struggle doing stuff online. I mean, it's not related, but my dad is 83. His doctor's surgery, they've just put everything online. He hasn't got a phone. He's never turned the computer on in his life. He's terrified of this thing. Stupid. I mean, we need to have ways for people to physically do this with other humans.
Like, at least the support to know how to.
Yeah. I think the biggest misconception is that there is one kind of person that goes to the food bank. Oh, it's the food bank people. I've been here a long time, as I mentioned, and during that time, I have given food bank parcels to. I normally I'm not in the food bank room, so I'm normally in the office and working with professionals around the city and stuff like that. But sometimes I do get down there and work with the volunteers, and I love that. That's why I did it in the first place. So, in my time in food bank, I have met people who work for the NHS. I have met nurses who've had to come into food bank. I have met police officers who've had to come into food bank. I have met a solicitor. I have met teachers and all kinds of professional people. The first person I met from the NHS, I remember, was a dental nurse. And she, at the time, and this is going back a few years ago, she told me how much she was earning, and I was thinking, as a single person renting a flat, how do you manage on that? So this is a really respected profession, and I think that the stereotype of, oh, the food bank people needs to be challenged massively. I also think that the people don't understand that actually food bank is emergency and crisis. We only see people, probably, I can't remember the exact number, but it's between 2 and 3 visits they make. They're not coming in every week. They're coming in the crisis. We help them in the crisis. They want help. They want to move on. Sometimes it takes us longer, but no one really wants to be coming. here. So our aim is to help them move on as quick as we can, and we're doing pretty well on that, I think. I when I moved down here, you don't want my long story. I'd had health problems, and the job that I thought I was going to do didn't transpire. Funding didn't come. A friend of mine said you should get the food bank job or you should apply for it, and I applied for it. I wasn't sure if I wanted it, if I'm honest. And I went to the interview, and I thought I wish I'd put in a bit more effort into that interview, actually, because they were such amazing, lovely people. The three people that interviewed me, and I thought I hope I get the job because they are amazing. And now I work with 170 volunteers who are amazing. They are the kindest people. Um, if you are feeling rubbish and you're having a rubbish week, go and chat to a food bank volunteer. They are amazing. Um, I work with 150 agencies, professional agencies across the city, which is about 600 individual people. And these are people who are totally committed to helping people in situations of inequality and poverty to move on and get to improve the situation they're in. They are inspiring people. These are church leaders, social workers, doctors, council workers. They are brilliant people, and this is why I've been here for 9 years when I said I'd be here for 2, because the people are amazing. You will not find a nasty or a selfish food bank volunteer. Brilliant. I think the people experiencing food poverty, I think just listen, chat, listen, be kind. I think that's about as simple as it gets. You can't improve someone's situation because the problem is so systemic that you as an individual probably cannot help your friend who needs support because it will cost you a fortune. And unless you're absolutely minted, that's difficult. The other problem that you have is if you do try and help your friend is where does that end? Because it's very easy to build entitlement or expectation. So if you always step in and help them, at some point they might think, well, they'll always help me. And that becomes a system and a pattern, and you don't want that. And they don't need that. They need to stand on their own feet. So the role of the food bank, I think, is helping people stand on their own feet as quickly as possible. How can we help? I think help the individual is about respect. It's about understanding their situation and listening and not judging. I think helping the helpers, helping any kind of charity that's doing this kind of stuff is just getting in touch, offering donations, offering money, offering time, because there are people all around this city and every city who are doing extraordinary work. Because I see the food banks and what some of them are doing is brilliant. The initiatives they're showing and the projects that they're running to help people in need and build confidence and build skills and cookery skills and learning to manage debt and learning to manage the benefit system. All of this stuff food banks across the country are doing, and it's amazing. We're doing stuff now as food banks that we should never, ever have had to do because there's so many gaps in the services. Food banks are stepping in because we've got the volunteers and we've got the desire to do it. But so many agencies now are so desperately lacking funding and resources. And we've got the support of these thousands of people, and it's amazing what some of the stuff's going on. If I've learned one thing, actually, and this goes not just from Food Bank, but when I set up a homeless project before this as well, I think one of the things that people don't understand is the long lasting impact of trauma. And I don't understand it either, to be perfectly honest, because it's very easy when someone comes into Food Bank and then they come back and back and back, and you think, can't you sort that out? Why are you still here? Can't you fix? And actually, when we begin to understand the impacts of trauma on a person's life, whether that's a broken relationship that they've had, a broken relationship that their parents had, a broken relationship or a situation of abuse or something like that, or the trauma of being ill, or the trauma of loss, or the 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 impact that that makes on a human being, which might just put them into kind of survival mode or not being able to cope with making these bigger decisions, is massive. And I think the one thing I've learned is that most people who cross that door and come in are not coming in because there's no food. And a lot of them are coming in because actually there's something has happened that has impacted them in a very difficult and profound way. And at one point, I probably would have said they need to sort themselves out. And now I think, yikes, it's hard to sort yourself out when you've been through that. And that's been my learning curve. And I still have to, I have to pull myself up on it. I do, because like everyone who's worked in a food bank and like everyone who's worked for any charity, you might find yourself thinking, well, come on, sort it out. But actually going back to that and just thinking, I don't really understand what you've been through, but I can see that the impacts of that are profound. That's really important. Okay. Um, yeah. COVID for us was bonkers. We were talking about it with someone earlier today. The first weekend of COVID, when everyone was sent home and Boris said, you must stay at home that weekend, he that weekend everyone stayed home. We got 800 emails from people who wanted to volunteer. 800. Now a lot of people just press select or delete. We didn't. I read them and found two people that I really wanted to help, and the others we said we're busy, thank you, we're fine. So basically on that first weekend of COVID, we set up a delivery team, and sometimes these things take months to sort out. We started it on Friday, we had it running on the Monday, and we did 50% of our food by delivery. So we would stop people congregating in the city, and we got a team of delivery drivers, and the church we were in let us run the church. So we had 3 different doors that people could come to, so we didn't have queues. We opened longer. We worked in very small teams. We literally ran around just trying to get them. It was amazing to see people working like that. The sad thing was having to send home everybody over 70, because we weren't allowed volunteers over 70. We had to send them home. And that was hard because they really wanted to help. So we managed to put the service on half delivery, but more than half delivery, the others coming to us. So that was great. The first person I met in COVID was a scaffolder, and he didn't have a referral. He just came to the food bank and he said, we normally manage all right. I've got 5 children. I went to work today and they've just sent me home. I haven't got any savings and they can't pay me for last week. Don't know what to do. My wife went into work this morning. They've sent her home as well. So we've got no money because we've got a little bit, nothing much saved. It's not urgent today, but we think we're going to be in trouble. So he was the first person. And then there was another one and another one, and they were just queuing around the block. It's like, oh my goodness. So it was a huge learning curve of like, what do we do with the resources we've got? And then we saw like kindness coming. People just bought us everything. I mean, I remember so we ran out of squash, like orange and fruit of the forest squash. And someone bought us, honestly, it must have been about 80 boxes of 6 bottles. Someone just bought it. And it was like everything we needed, we just asked for it and people were bringing it in. And we never ran out of anything. I think we were the only charity that didn't shut. We didn't close a single session. We ran every session. And we did it, and none of our volunteers got COVID, and we distanced, we did everything. But it was insanely difficult. It was like, I said this at the time, it felt like servicing a car as you were driving down the road. You couldn't stop, just had to keep mending it. It was insane, and we did it. I don't know how. It was mad. It was mad. Loved every minute of it. I hate to say it, but I did. I loved it. The challenge is every day of keeping an organisation running and everyone healthy was kind of nightmarish, but exciting.
I also want to
We um, we have no statutory funding at all, so we have nothing coming in from council. We rent this place from the council. We don't get anything from them or anyone. Um, and I probably think we shouldn't take it even if we were offered it, because we are not part of the institution. We are not part of the council. And if we run ourselves, then we can offer a critique. So if the council were to say to us, well, you can't tell us what you think politically because we'll stop funding you, that we have no voice then. So we have, I think, to maintain our integrity, it's very important that we don't take that funding, but we actually can say what we think. Um, hence the lobby day. We can go and put our voice to something. Nothing comes in statutory. Every single penny that we get comes in from a donation. Some of it is from a business. Some businesses might. We have one business that donates faithfully every month. Some comes in from churches. A lot comes in from individuals. We had a cheque today of £60. It came in through the post. We had a cheque yesterday of £100. These are individuals. We have some individuals who give us £50 a month. We have some individuals who drop in £5 when they can. It comes in. You can look at our accounts online. We're in pretty good shape at the moment, but renting this place and with the project growing, you'll probably see us actively doing more fundraising because as we try and help more people earlier, that comes at cost. It takes staffing, it takes advice workers and things like that, as well as the running the food bank logistical stuff. So you'll probably see us doing more active fundraising as we go. We get amazing support. Some of the churches support us every month. We have individuals that support us every month. I don't know where it comes from, and I don't know how people, or don't know why people are so open to supporting us, but they really are. So it's amazing.